Hi, the Mudbrooker here. Today I'm going to be doing something cool. I am going to make cast iron corn dogs. Before I do that though, I would like to thank my channel members. S.W. Wheatley, Billy Lee Lawhan, The Needy Homesteader, Rachel Tremblay, Greg Boone, Fred Revels, Mr. Smith's Kitchen, Rich Miller, Mogul Smoke, Donna Harder, Dorothy Annis, Shannon Ohl, Daniel Barrett, B&U Acres, and Chris Salverson. Your support is greatly appreciated, and if you were a channel member, you had already seen this video. I post videos a couple of days early for channel members, and in your honor, I am going to be drinking a little bit of bourbon. So, here goes. Here's to you guys, and your continued support is greatly appreciated. Set that aside, get that bottle out of my way, and we'll get on with the cooking. What I have are some nice homemade hot dogs here, and I have some corn stick pans. Ideally, you'd want 2 of these large Wagner Ware senior size corn stick pans, but I only have 1. They'd be just perfect for this, and if you have 2 of them, I'm jealous and I hate you, but they would be ideal for this recipe. Instead, what we'll be using are 2 junior-sized Wagner corn stick pans. These are the same size as pretty much every other corn stick pan out there. The big ones and the T size are kind of scarce, but pretty much all of them are this size, whether it's Wagner, Lodge, Griswold, whoever made them. They're all about like that. Now, the hot dogs are a little bit too long for what we need to do with these. So I'm going to cut them down, and what I'll do is I'll just put them in one of these pans so I have something for a guide. And I'll line up with the ear on this end here, and I'll cut them down so they're about 2/3 or 3/4 of the length of the pan. I'm just going to run my knife down here to mark them. That little crooked guy is going to be a pain. That's something else that needs to be dealt with, but you'll see that in a minute too. Anyway, got them all scored. Got my camera kind of in a weird place here, so I can't be sure if I'm looking right. Got them all scored, and I'll just cut them off where my mark is. Now, if you're using just regular, Oscar Mayer hot dog kind of things, they're nice and straight, and they're a little bit smaller around, which is helpful. These are a little bit big around, which makes them fill the pan a little bit more than is really handy for what we're doing. Like I said, the full-sized senior big pans would be perfect for this, but I only have the 1. Now, I'm also going to have some nice little trimmings here for later. These need to be straightened out a little bit. You're going to need a skewer anyway, so I have some bamboo skewers, and you just get these guys pulled up. Whoops. I'm only going to have 6 corn dogs. Anyway, you straighten these out, and you skewer them through, and stick it out so you got about 2 inches past the end of your corn dog, or your hot dog. Now, when I was experimenting with this recipe, trying to get it to work right, get it in the middle a little bit more there. Try and keep them centered as best you can. I fried these hot dogs first, browned them up nice, and they were really good. But the batter didn't stick to them quite as well as I would have liked it to. So what I'm going to do with these is boil them. Just boil them up till they're heated through, cooked through. And once we get that done, we'll go ahead and get the cornbread batter made, and we'll start baking these guys up. Put that one through there. And like I said, I'm only going to have 6 because I broke one of my hot dogs. And there you go. Well, I suppose what I could do, actually, seeing as how I have extra bits, that was a little short. There. Turn this one around the right way. There. Back to 7. Alrighty, I'm going to get my batter made, or get these boiled up, then we'll start working on the batter. Okay, we're ready to start making our batter, and things will come together pretty quick after this. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and I have my cornstick pans preheating along with it. I also have I have a pizza stone in there. You're going to want something under your pans when you're baking this, because you probably will get a little bit of overflow. Now, my cornbread recipe, let me set that aside. I have 3/4 of a cup of cornmeal, 1.25 cups of flour. I want 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Always make sure your baking powder is fresh. If it goes past its best by date, baking powder will go dead and it won't rise. I usually try anyway to make sure that my baking powder is never more than a year old. It's a good idea to do that. Anyway, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. A little bit more. About half, maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. 1/4 cup of oil. That's just regular vegetable oil. An egg. A cup of milk. And since most corn dogs use a honey cornbread batter, I'm going to add about 1/3, maybe 1/2 cup of honey. A little bit more. That'll do her. And mix her all up. Once you get everything wetted down and it's coming together good, you can start beating it a little bit harder, get any lumps broke up. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to swing us over a little bit here. Hopefully be able to get my camera set up good. You can see I've got my hot dogs all skewered and sitting there. Now, I'm going to grab my corn stick pans, get them out. Ooh, smoking hot. Alright. I should be organized good enough. Move this guy so he's sitting nice and flat. I'm going to grease these up good. I got some melted clarified butter. And a brush works best for these corn stick pans, regardless of what you're doing with them, because you can work into the little nooks and crannies a lot easier. Alright, I also have a little skillet greased up and ready to go because I'll probably have a little bit of extra cornbread batter. I gotta check my camera angle here, make sure I'm not blocking myself. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Now, what I'm going to do, get my cornbread batter a little bit closer to where I'm working. I'm going to put a little bit of batter in each one of these slots to start off with. You can see her sizzling along a little bit. And then I'm going to take a hot dog. I'm going to coat it with my batter. Just kind of lift it up from underneath and roll it around. Get a little coating on there. And this is going to be in my way. Alright. Coat it with your batter and set it in the slot. Push it down. And this is working a lot better boiling them than you can see the batter is sticking a lot better than it did when I tried frying them. Go through here and get each one. Whoops. Wipe most of the batter off. Like I said, that full-sized one, that big cornstick pan, would have been a lot easier, but this is the size that the vast majority of people are going to have, because the big ones aren't very common, which is a shame because I do like them. Someday I'll have two of them and I can do these a little bit easier. Oops. And that should just about do it. You want to make sure that your slots are filled out to the ends. I might have to, as soon as I get done coating this guy, I'll have a look. I might have to drip a little bit more in the ends on a couple of these, like this one. But they all look pretty good. And now, making sure that these are pointed the same direction as the ones down here, which is this way, I'm going to cover the top of these with this one, get cornbread batter all over the place, and I'm going to put it in the oven for about 20 minutes. After 15 minutes, I'm going to take this and flip it over carefully, because it browns more on one side than the other otherwise. So, into the oven we go. And my excess batter, I didn't preheat this little pan, but that's okay. A lot of people prefer to preheat them, and so do I, but I forgot to put that in the oven when I was preheating stuff, so it didn't get heated up. And I'll put my extra batter in here. And we'll make a nice little skillet full of cornbread too while we're at it. And in we go. I'll set my timer for 20 minutes. Should take around that, 20-25. We'll see how it goes. And I'll be back when these are ready to come out of the oven. I forgot to flip these over at 15 minutes, so they're probably going to be a little more brown on one side than the other. But I'm going to take them out and let them sit and cool off for about 5 minutes. That helps it release itself from the pan a little better. Get this guy out of the way. Nice little pan of cornbread. And now for our corn dogs. Like I said, I'll let these sit and cool off for a bit, and then we'll be back and see how they turned out. Okay, these have been sitting for a few minutes, and I'm going to take a spoon and just kind of pry on the edge a little bit there. Get that out of the way. Pry on the edge a little bit there. Looks like we're loose all the way around. So, let's see here. That guy in the end is stuck a little bit. I think what it is this excess batter. There we go. Now, got that lifted up because these are still pretty hot. Looky there. Ain't them nice? Kind of lift them gently, see if they're coming loose. You gotta be careful with them because you don't want to rip the batter off them. Like I said, the big size pans would be a lot better for this, but this is the size that most everybody's going to have, so this is what I used. Cut between them gently just to get them separated. And we'll give them a try. Here's that first one. Like I said, I forgot to flip them over, so a little more done on the one side than on the other. But they coming out pretty good so far. This one here, you can see there's a little bit of the wiener showing, but that's okay. That guy looks good. Apart from that one, we're doing real nice so far. Nothing stuck. One little bare spot there, but that's really good. Now if you want to, you can take a pair of clippers and nip that extra bit of skewer off. It's probably going to go flying. Oh, not too bad. And there's your corn dogs. Now, let me grab another plate quick. And we'll see how my cornbread did. Give it a little shake. Tap it. Oh, that came right out. Ain't that nice? See, even without preheating the pan, still got a pretty decent crispiness to it. Or browned up nice anyway. You get a little more crispiness to it if you preheat the pan before you put your batter in there. But let me grab a little bit of ketchup, because you gotta have ketchup on a corn dog. Should have grabbed this beforehand, but I didn't. And I can't find my ketchup. Ah, there it is. Forgot I just got a brand new one and I gotta open it. What is it they say about prior planning? Oh well. It wouldn't be one of my videos if everything went smoothly and according to plan. Like I said, a little bit of ketchup. If you're really the obsessive type, you can carefully pick these edges off, but you don't want to tear too far into the side of it, because otherwise your sides will separate. But anyhow, that cornbread turned out real good. I like honey cornbread. I like just plain cornbread that isn't sweetened either. But if you're going to sweeten your cornbread, use honey. There's nothing better than that. And this is how you can make your very own corn dogs using 2 corn stick pans. Now the idea of stacking 2 corn stick pans on top of each other to get a full round shape like that, I have shamelessly stolen from Stephen Strawn. I don't know where he got the idea from, if he came up with it on his own, but I give him credit for it because he's the guy I stole it from. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time.